Hi, I'm Rick Kahler. Thanks for joining me today. Well, my family and I spent Christmas taking my daughter's dream vacation. I spoke about that a few weeks ago. This was a Caribbean cruise. Now, as many of you know, I'm not much of a sand, sea, and sun type of guy. So my enjoyment of cruising is really more based on relaxation and good food. I prefer to select a larger ship that has all the amenities and especially a well-rated restaurant. On this particular trip, however, I decided to make cost the priority. I selected the smallest ship in the Celebrity fleet, ship known as the Zenith. And I did this knowing it didn't have a specialty restaurant. Still, the price was attractive. In fact, it was almost too low. And I thought, you know, there has to be a catch here. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. So I asked the reservation agent what the catch was. He said the ship was being sold in April 2007 to another company. Aha, I said, this is an obvious red flag. I did the obvious. I asked, why is the ship being sold? He told me it was because it lacked Celebrity's trademark balconies for outside cabins, and that they were replacing it with an even smaller ship that had balconies. And I thought, you know, this isn't a problem. Being the value-oriented shopper that I am, I don't purchase outside cabins. I prefer to purchase the cheaper inside staterooms. So I thought, well, this isn't going to really affect me. But I thought, you know, I should do a little more checking. So I grabbed my trusty Burlett's Guide to Ocean Cruising and Cruise Ships, and I looked up the Zenith. They gave the Zenith 4 out of 5 stars, and a pretty good review. Enough, I better do some more checking. So I went to www.cruise.com, and there she got a favorable review from people that had sailed on the ship. They actually rated her equal to the Galaxy, which is a ship that our family has previously enjoyed. So, having done my due diligence, we booked the cruise. Within 2 hours of boarding the Zenith on December 18th, 2006, my whole family knew we had made a big mistake. The ship was a broken down mess. There was peeling paint and rust everywhere. The decks were dirty. The furnishings were worn and tattered. My toilet didn't work for about 2 days. The computers didn't support the programs I used to access my office desktop. The gym didn't have a complete set of weights. As most of you know, I'm recovering from shoulder surgery, and I needed 3-pound weights, and only one could be found. I didn't have yoga mats. I've never been on a ship without yoga mats in my life. It didn't have fully functioning treadmills. The kids' play area was so small and sparse that we had to beg our kids to go to the kids' club. Now, that's a first. Our kids typically go on vacation to be in the kids' club. I mean, their attitude is the Parthenon, the Coliseum. Why would we want to see something like that? It's Pirates Day at the kids' club. Well, I guess you might say the Zenith was what you might expect of a ship being sold soon, where the owners were doing everything possible to minimize capital improvements and milk every last bit of use out of her. I guess it really makes sense. Fortunately, though, everything on the Zenith wasn't a mess. The food was very good, and the showers had plenty of hot water. All in all, London's dream vacation wasn't what I had hoped for. Still, I can't look back and beat myself up too much about my selection process. I was reasonably thorough in my due diligence. There simply are limits to what you can research. In part, this is because the information available about a product, in this case being a cruise ship, or any investment, is based on past performance rather than current or future conditions. Brokers who sell investments often rely on past performance as a selling point. What they tend not to mention is the fact that changing market conditions and many other factors can turn past performance statistics into really a bunch of irrelevant numbers. In addition, there's always the occasional investment where Everything appears to check out fine, but for reasons no one could have anticipated, it turns sour. Is it a mistake to trust a brand name or rely on past performance? Well, not necessarily. What is a mistake is to assume that all those elements are a guarantee of satisfaction. Whether it's a cruise ship or an investment, it's important to do as much research as you possibly can. It's just as important to accept the truth that sometimes the reality won't live up to your expectations. Thanks for joining me.